Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be ranking every single Money Fronts DLC vehicle that was added into GTA Online with the most recent update. We've got all the vehicles in the game now, and these vehicles are going to be ranked based on their overall features like having a Money Tech or HSW, the popularity of said vehicles, the driving performance, and of course the customization. And if you've never seen one of my ranking videos before, there is something that you must know that is crucial to this video. This list is 100% factual and cannot be argued with. If you disagree with my ranking, you are simply wrong. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you don't, consider subscribing if you're new. Let's go ahead and get started with the worst vehicle from the Money Fronts DLC. And starting it off, we have the Higgins Heli Tours Maverick. This is just a reskinned version of the already pretty terrible Maverick helicopter that's existed in this game since 2013, and that's all I have to say about it. Moving on to number 12, we have the Brute Bobcat Security Stockade for $1,830,375, and that's with the trade price. And without it, it's $2,440,500. This is useless. It's a reskin of the Group 6 Stockade, the Police Riot just without the lights, and asking for a few more million of your hard-earned dollars in GTA Online. Please don't buy it. Alright, moving on to number 11, our first real car, the Grotti LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic for $1,952,500. This vehicle is a huge disappointment to a lot of people, me included. It's basically the same thing as the Jester RR widebody situation that happened back in December with the release of the Agents of Sabotage DLC. It's a car that has existed in GTA Online for a while, but as a whole new buyable vehicle, just with no customization options, whereas the regular version has tons. This thing has mildly better performance than the car that it's based off, which is the regular Grotti Cheetah Classic, which is an awesome car. Now allegedly this is one of the best cars for the LS Car Meet or Tuners races now, but in my opinion I still don't think it's worth the purchase. The fact that the only thing you can do on this car is change the livery to on or off is crazy to me. They definitely could have added some bumper options, they definitely could have added some spoiler options, and they definitely could have done a lot better, especially if they're going to ask for more than double the price of the original vehicle that it's based on. The LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic is a scam, and you should not buy one. At number 10, we have the Western Police Bike for $3,720,000 to $4,960,000, and still better value than the LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic because at least this bike has customization options, and a lot of them as well. It also has a speed glitch, which can be activated by simply doing a wheelie, which is awesome. You can also do dispatch work with it, but I don't really recommend doing that as it is a one-seater, and some dispatch work missions do require a second seat, which it doesn't have. No, I don't recommend getting this bike at all, but if you do, your money would be far better spent on this than it would be on the LS Car Meet Cheetah Classic. At number 9, we have the Karen Everon RS for $1,665,000. This is a very confusing vehicle. It's in the SUV category, but it's based on a Toyota Tacoma, but a lowered one. I don't know who on earth wanted this over a regular normal height or even a lifted new generation Tacoma, but I guess if you did want this, you got your wish. It's quite incapable of any sort of rocky off-road terrain traversing, but it is quite fast on the street, so I guess that's kind of cool. Customization wise, it's also really lacking, which sucks. And overall, I feel like it was a huge missed opportunity. If this thing was just a regular height Tacoma, like I said, it would be much better and a lot more people would buy it. So I think they should definitely make one at some point in the future. Moving on to number 8, we have the Annus Minimus for $1,417,000, and this vehicle is a Nissan Maxima driver's wet dream, complete with AutoZone customization options and all in LS Customs. It actually has okay performance for what it is, but it likely won't win you any races in the sedans category, which it resides in. But it can look okay if you customize it like a normal person and not a Maxima or an Ultima driver. It even works good for racing against like much faster cars in traffic that are actually just driving normally, or for road raging. In GTA, of course, and definitely not pertaining to real life at all. I feel like this car is a little bit overpriced for what you're getting. I would generally say to avoid the Annus Minimus. Moving on, up next we have the Dubachi Rapid GT X for $2,705,500. This thing is extremely overpriced and very lazy. But compared to the vehicles that we've gone over previously on this list, I'm sure you can sympathize with why I put it this high up, despite the horrendous pricing of the vehicle. I can't lie about it, this car is also very lazy feeling to me. It kind of feels like they just took the front end of the Spectre and changed the headlights, put the back end of the Spectre and combined it with the Champion together in Photoshop and called it a day. Seemingly, they may have also borrowed the Champion's pricing strategy when deciding on the final number for what this car is going to cost. I will say though, the car does drive quite nicely. It's got a good balance of oversteer and control, with okay acceleration and an okay top speed. Overall, I'd recommend skipping it for most people. Just buy a Spectre and you've pretty much got this car anyways for a fraction of the price. At number 6, we have the Declasse Walton L35 stock for $1,303,700. The Walton stock narrowly beat out the Rapid GT X because the price isn't as egregious. The stock L35 is interesting because I think it's a generally worse version of the regular L35 that's been in GTA Online for a few years now. However, it is about $300,000 cheaper than that vehicle, which is good. It also has very similar customization. It's almost like laziness is a general pattern with the vehicles from this DLC, but of course I'm no expert on this. If you're gonna have one, I'd make sure to get the Declasse Walton L35 and leave the stock one alone, because I think for the extra 300 grand, having it lifted gives it a lot more utility and definitely makes it look a lot cooler. At number 5, we have the Karin Woodlander for $1,611,000 plus an additional $900,000 for an HSW upgrade. This is a vehicle I definitely didn't have on my bingo card, probably because I'm but the Karin Woodlander is based on the Subaru Forester, the unofficial car of Portland, Oregon. It's actually relatively capable on and off-road, and it's got that HSW upgrade which makes it very fast, which is good for things like getting to a comedy show to heckle the comedian because he made a joke you didn't like, or something like that. Anyway, the customization is a bit lacking, I feel, but I won't be speaking to the manager. It's fun, good handling, great acceleration, and speed. With the addition of HSW, overall, it's a good car in GTA Online. At number 4, we have the Annus Hardy for $1,380,000. The Annus Hardy is a car that I didn't expect to like so much, but when I was done customizing, I was glad to drive it around. It's naturally very drifty feeling, which is something that you have to get used to with it. I kind of wish that it had the drift tuning upgrade, but it almost doesn't even need it. It kind of reminds me of the Volcar Nebula Turbo, except if that car was actually good. The customization is great, the performance is a little bit mid, but it's definitely very fun to drive. Overall, I think it's a very good car for the money. At number 3, we have the overflawed Suzume for $3,074,500. Yay! Another electric supercar, guys! Said nobody. The Suzume is extremely expensive at over $3 million, and I will say this car does break the mold of absolutely awful handling for an electric supercar in GTA Online, which is very refreshing to see. I do, however, think this car is exceptionally ugly, which is very on brand for electric supercars, and especially for how much money it costs, the customization options don't really help it either, sadly. I will say though, at least there are a decent amount of customization options. I would say most players should likely avoid this car. If you want performance, there are a lot better cars for the money, and if you want customization, you could probably get 3 cars for the price of this one that all have better options for customizing. I did like the overall driving experience of this car, and I will give it that. It really was good to drive. I just think it's way too overpriced. At number 2, we had the Declasse Tampa GTX for $1,311,000, plus an additional $1,400,000 if you want to put the HSW upgrade on the car. This car was actually a riot to drive, with the HSW upgrade applied. All this vehicle does is spin wheels and slide around, which is super fun. If you try relatively hard, you can actually get it to be pretty serious and stop goofing around, but I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the vehicle. It's meant for sliding about on every road except for the highway. Now on the highway, this car is very serious indeed. It has a top speed of 166 miles per hour, making it one of the very fastest land vehicles in the game. Customization wise, it didn't have the greatest stuff ever, I can't lie. There definitely could have been a lot more. I do feel like the performance and the overall look of the car do make up for the lack in the customization department, at least in my opinion. And of course, the number one best vehicle from the Money Fence DLC is the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS for $1,629,000 to $2,172,000, if you don't have the trade price. The new Sentinel is probably the number one sports car that I see on Instagram Reels in real life, which is of course the BMW M3, which it's based off. It's also probably the most requested vehicle to be added into GTA Online by the community, short of the Hellcat Charger, Challenger, Durango, Trackhawk, and the TRX. I'm happy we at least got something that we wanted with this update though. The trade price on this car is also very easy to unlock. You just need to do the Quickie Farm mission, which takes about 10 minutes and will save you about $600,000. The Sentinel GTS has a good amount of customization options, not as many as I would have liked, but it's okay. It has excellent performance for being a non-HSW car as well, with great acceleration and top speed. The handling though is my favorite part of the car. It feels like it's on rails. You can definitely make some cool builds with this thing, and I think that everybody should own this vehicle. It truly is very awesome. So there you have it. That's it for my video on ranking every single Money Fence DLC car or vehicle in GTA Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. Let me know that I'm right in the comments down below, because of course I'm right, because that's what I said at the start of the video and you watched it. So if you got to this point and you disagree, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think you know what that means. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.